I was on television. People knew who I was. When the mayor's race came up, they were looking for a candidate because they felt that Steve Miller, who was far and away the leader, could have a negative image of the city because he was negative. You know, he was always looking for corruption and bad things. But for a city like Las Vegas, you want to really be looking to the benefits of the city. So it was actually a group of women who came to me. They were political activists in the community. They were women were not very visible in Las Vegas at the time, but there was a small group who were involved in politics, who ran, either campaigns or were on the edges. About 2 years before, I had worked with them. We had put together the Governor's Conference on Women, which was, if you remember, that was a big event where we brought women from northern and southern Nevada together and discussed a variety of different issues. I'd also worked with these women on passing Proposition 7, was the right to choose, which was a constitutional amendment that we passed in 1990 when everybody thought we couldn't get it done. So these were women who were involved more in grassroots politics, and they were the ones that came and said, why don't you run for mayor? And at first I totally discounted it. I'd never thought about politics. And then, upon consideration, I thought, well, maybe. So I went and spoke to all of the people in the community, all three of them that run politics. In fact, they're the same three today. And their common response was, don't be ridiculous, you could never win, which to me was a challenge because I thought, really? It's just marketing. They know me as a face of Fletcher Jones. I need to tell them another story about who I am, my business background, that I graduated from Stanford University, that I had a vision for the city, and it worked, to all of our surprise. I was elected in the primary with almost 52% of the vote. Isn't that interesting? It was women. It wasn't the political handlers that came and said. They were actually running around looking for a white male who could defeat Steve Miller. And I remember the Review Journal has always done these polls, and in the year of the election, Steve Miller was voted the favorite elected official. He was one of those that always positioned himself as fighting for the little guy, but he did it in a very negative way. He did it by trying to take people down and tarnish their reputations. And I was voted favorite Las Vegas woman. So it was an interesting balance. And it was, I believe, a lot of the reason I won was the women's vote. I think they were a silent majority who maybe didn't say a lot, but on both the Republican and the Democratic side, voted with gender and the opportunity for a woman to be seen as a viable leader, that they could elect a woman and that there was a woman who was then at the table, who in many ways reflected that Las Vegas was a different kind of community that everybody thought. Women weren't only on the casino floor or on stage, that women actually could lead. And because I was the mayor of the city, whether the men wanted to deal with me or not, they had no choice.